No.
Harvey.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get to
Rugby,
the
soccer, all that.
Let's not bury the lead. What are your kids for Halloween tonight?
So my son's Jack Frost from Rise of the Guardians.
Oh yeah.
And then my daughter, we took her to the Dollar movies the other day and watched Hotel Transylvania.
Mhm.
Nice.
And
Love that movie.
she became a fan of Mavis, the girl vampire. So she's going with the vampire look this year.
Nice.
Nice,
It's only a
nice.
matter of time before she tries and reads Twilight.
Right. I asked you about your son being taller than me, so we know your son is taller than me. Is your daughter almost taller than me?
Surprisingly, she's about maybe an inch shorter than Jackson is, so she's not far behind him.
Nice.
But she weighs more than he does. So
Wow.
that's kind of, yeah.
They've got a tall mom, 6'2", right?
True.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
Harvey Unga is on.
She's like 6 foot. She's 6
Oh, it's
foot.
6
'Cause
foot?
If you say 6'2", they put me down as 6 foot in the books at BYU. So
Oh, gee.
I can't.
Dude, it's embarrassing when you have Harvey and his wife, and you have Brandon Bradley and his wife, and then like I'm there chilling with having
And then there's
barbecues. And I'm
you.
like, man, my boys are taller than me, and my boys' girls are taller than me. Like this is kind of sad. Like don't stand by me. Please
That is sad.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Harvey, we've been talking about kind of the state of BYU football right now. 4-game losing streak. People really anxious for a win tomorrow against Middle Tennessee. What do you expect from BYU tomorrow in the game?
A freaking win. I'm praying for a win, and I know these guys are capable of it, but it just, man, unfortunately, luck hasn't been running their way. Things just, haven't been clicking on all cylinders defensively. But, hopefully they pull together, they rally around each other, and make this above 500 season, because right now it's a little rough right now.
Why do you think tomorrow could be different for BYU? Finally get a win without Taysom Hill.
Man,
it's not good when you hesitate this long, Harvey.
Well, to be honest, I'm not thinking about Taysom Hill, to be honest. When people sit there and worry about, the season because of Taysom Hill, it's hard for them to, I don't know, I don't think of this as a Taysom Hill season. It's, right now, I think defensively we need to focus on that more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Offensively, we're putting up points. We're moving the ball around. Total offense, I think we're doing great. But defensively, I think we've been struggling. So, if anything, I trust Christian, and I feel like he's doing a great job in his role right now and what he's doing. But I don't know. It's so hard to say because I really feel we should have won a few of those games that we lost.
Yeah, there were some close ones for sure. Boise State not close, but kind of the end of the road there. The only reason I bring up Taysom Hill is because BYU has yet to win without him. But yeah, I'm with you and Brian. It starts with defense. It really does.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I like what Coach Mendenhall tried to do, Harvey, last week with trying to take over the defense and kind of really didn't work. And my biggest thing is not seeing that desire and that want to from the guys. If you're Coach Mendenhall and you're Coach Howe on the defensive side, how do you get light that fire back in those guys with such a disappointing season so far?
Man, B, you know just as well as I do. It's hard to do that if the guys don't want that. And to be a coach and try to do that, it's honestly dang near impossible. If like I said, if the guys don't want it. So for them to try to generate some sort of momentum, some sort of swing, really it boils down to those guys just making plays on the field and building from there. Because right now they're in the slumps. Let's be honest. These guys they're frustrated. They're mad. Things just haven't been going their way. And I think when things start to turn around defensively and they get lucky breaks here and there, and then, they execute their defense how they're supposed to, really then I feel like they'll start to buy into it. The coaches don't have to be the rah-rah coach or whatever to try to get them motivated. I think it starts to genuinely build inside of them themselves, and then, it shows out on the field after that. But I don't know, man. You know how it is. It's hard if things aren't going right, even if a coach wants to be that cheerleader out there, it's still hard for guys to really believe in themselves if things aren't going their way.
Yeah, I've always said the same thing. You know, it's really hard if the coaches have done everything they can. Really, you got to put it on the players. And I remember there were some times in 2009 when we played, and we've had some disappointing losses to Florida State and TCU. I remember TCU was a big turnaround for us, and there was really no coaches giving us pep talks or motivating us. It was,
Right.
You guys, you, Max, Scott Johnson, Dennis Pitta that turned it around. But I don't really see that with these guys. You see anybody that can emerge as that leader that doesn't need to get the okay from Coach Mendenhall, doesn't need Coach Mendenhall to bring him to their office, and they could just do it on their own.
I feel like they've got those guys. I mean, you take a kid like Jamal, who I know we keep saying, oh, he's so young and this and that, but really think about it. The kid's he's a junior this year.
He's a junior and a half.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So in my perspective, I think, unfortunately, we've put this bubble around him like, oh, he's too young, he's only this many years old, whatever. But in reality, the kid has been on the field when he's out there. So, take it from a guy like Jamal or defensively, like who doesn't look up to Craig Bills? You know what I mean? Like whether he's on the field or off the field, I think he still has an impact on the team, as well as Taysom, and even a guy like Bronson, whom is a phenomenal athlete. The kid's a stud. Unfortunately, has been a little quiet recently, but you can take guys like that and help them grow and help build their confidence. And when those type of players have confidence in themselves and play, the way that we know that they can play and the way that they know they can play, it totally changes momentum, like you said. Because to be honest, Brian, you and I have been through this slump, and nothing against Coach Hill, but we had the same situation where we had a D coordinator who wasn't cutting it.
Yep.
And it was on us players to take it on ourselves to really change, what we were doing wrong and help each other out and build each other.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that these guys can, find the same in themselves and help each other out and turn the season around, regardless of the coaching staff or whatever excuses that people want to come up with.
Harvey Unga, the all-time leading rusher in BYU history, is on BYU Sports Nation. BYU 2/3 of the way through the season, 8 games in. At this point, can you do what you're talking about? Can BYU find a way to ignite themselves from the players?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and it's really random, but I unfortunately I didn't get to serve a mission, and this is, like I said, it's really random, but I'm sure those guys that have served missions have been through crap and have been through so much adversity while they were out there on their 2-year, mission stuff.
Yep.
That they understand how to come back from adversity. They understand how to overcome, trials and tribulations and hard times. And so when you got a bunch of guys that are that mature, that have been through something like that, I would use those experiences to help the team grow, to help them overcome the slump that they're in, and to be mature enough to take it on themselves instead of sit there and blame the coaches or whomever they think is to blame for that matter. I totally think they can change things, and they're very capable of it. They're all mature young men, and there's still a good chunk of the season left to play.
BYU had a players-only meeting last week, and Taysom Hill came into that meeting for the first time and embraced the team. And I'm wondering, if motivationally the BYU was in the right place. We heard from Michael Lisa. I was encouraged by all of that. Bronco Mendenhall took over the defense. BYU just wasn't good enough against Boise State. They just weren't, and sometimes that happens. But Middle Tennessee is not Boise State, and that's the good news. I do want to mention this: when people talk about BYU's mission advantage, can BYU send out an official memo with letterhead right now that says BYU's 4-4, has lost 4 in a row? What advantage is it? What advantage is it? Because it's not working if that's the case. But I think you're right, Harvey. There are experiences you can draw on, but at the end of the day, BYU's going to have to be better than Middle Tennessee on the field, and they are on paper. But I'm concerned for tomorrow's game.
Well, and I totally agree with you on that, but unfortunately with some other teams, they're better than those other teams on paper.
Yeah.
But for some odd reason, those other teams seem to have just a record-breaking day or a career day for certain players. So you can sit there and look at the numbers and everything like that, but football is it's so unpredictable. You have no idea what's going to happen, and that's one of the great things about it is, they, like I said, BYU could totally change things around, and luck may just swing their way these last couple games, or it may not. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. But we'll take it as it is, and statistically, hopefully, we take it to Middle Tennessee. But it's definitely obviously up to those guys that are playing on the field to really come together and change things around, because the coaches can only say so much and preach so much and coach so much. But then, the guys have to go out there and execute exactly what they're told to do and how to do it. And when it boils down to it, that's the name of the game. Those 11 guys are out there to play. And the coaches only have so much control.
Harvey Unga, the all-time leading rusher in BYU history, is on BYU Sports Nation. What are the things that get you excited about this BYU football team and hopeful for the game tomorrow, Harvey?
Well, like I said, you look at, for me, I'm obviously an offensive guy. I look at offensively, these guys have been putting up points. They've been putting up numbers, yards, and whatnot. So to me, it's exciting to see that they're still keeping that tradition offensively to go out there and score points, because in the past when we've gone through our slumps, it was frustrating, because when I was out in Chicago, I'd look at the scoreboard and it was like 3-0 or 6-3 or 9-3, and I was like, this is not BYU. Like, this is not how we play ball.
Right.
Defensively it was amazing because they were able to do something like that, but offensively it sucked in. So now, even though we're in a slump, it's nice to see that the offense is still clicking with a new quarterback, and that's something to build off of. But defensively, I know these guys are capable of it. I know they're capable of getting things together and really, playing the sound football that Coach Mendenhall has been coaching throughout the years. And Coach Mendenhall is a defensive genius. The dude is amazing at what he does. So it's nice to see that he's taking over and doing what he has to do. And I'm hoping that, things will definitely turn around this game. But like I said, this game's unpredictable, so who knows what's going to happen.
Harvey, tell us what you did or what you're doing with Undrafted on the NFL Network.
They're pretty much done filming and everything right now, but it was a little mini series on the NFL Network. It's still going on right now, but they had followed us for a couple weeks, and then took a break and came back for a couple more weeks. Really just kind of telling stories of different players that are trying to, get their shot in the NFL and hopefully land somewhere and make it. And I guess they felt inclined to share my story, and have been blessed and fortunate to, have that kind of exposure and stuff. So hopefully a team or a coach or GM or somebody, I don't know, will give me a shot or open their hearts and stuff to my story, and who knows, give me a chance to play running back and do something in the league.
And I'll tweet a link out to a video of Undrafted with Harvey. And Harvey, let's end with this. Still trying to make it in the league. Still waiting on a call. Yeah,
it's been a tough process, but what you just said right there has kept me in the game. Fortunately, phone calls are still coming. My agent's working hard, and that's really been the keeper for my wife and I. We both agreed that when the phone calls stop coming in, then we'll hang the cleats up. But fortunately, calls have been coming in, and I've been able to go out different places and get workouts and stuff. So it's still out there for me. I still believe it's attainable, and just praying for that shot and waiting to see what's going to happen.
Yes, play as long as you can. As long as you can.
You don't want to. The day you're relegated to our intramural flag football team is the day it's probably over. The dream dies.
Hey, man, I remember when we came back Harvey, and we played and we lost, and we kind of got mad, and that was a funny story and situation with us. Oh man, I loved it.
Intramurals?
Yeah, and intramurals.
Okay.
And we lost, and there was a whole bunch of flags and wrong calls, and we were heated. I'd never seen. Harvey was red, man.
You guys are competitive. I couldn't have told it. I couldn't have guessed
red.
that.
We were like, Harvey. There's like 5 guys that hold him, like trying to tackle him. Stop, calm down. Think about your son. Think about your family.
That's where it goes at the end.
Yeah, Brian drew the line right there when he yelled out, "Think about the family."
You're like, oh yeah, it's intramurals.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember.
I'm playing against a kid that looks like Jerem. Yeah. Harvey, we appreciate the time. Great insight. You're a straight shooter. We hope you land a job.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate
praying
it.
for you.
Harvey Unga.
Appreciate it.